Hey everyone, it's Leanne DeSanto and I'm on a beautiful walk with Miss Shiloh here. We are enjoying an awesome day, and today's lesson from Shiloh is about venting. So today she was so excited. She knew we were heading out for a walk and she's jumping up and down and at the door, and it just got me thinking about she's really venting her excitement, right? But today I want to talk about how do we vent our disappointments, our frustrations, our anger. I read an interesting article lately around venting, and I was a little surprised actually with what I found out and what the research shows. You know, we think that first blush venting is a good thing, you know, that we're getting our not keeping our emotions bottled up, we're venting, we're releasing it, but actually what happens is we keep the story alive. Especially if we keep venting over and over about the same situation, you know, to friends and family or whoever we're venting to. And also venting to ourselves, you know, because the brain doesn't really know the difference between an actual event and an event that we're thinking about. So you can be thinking about something that happened to you 10 years ago and be in that same physiological space. You know, you can feel that anxiety, feel that stress coming up, and you know, get angry again at that person, or you know, so and that's what's really important, because venting as a emotional release too often is like throwing gasoline on the fire, you know, and it's like we're practicing, and what happens when we practice something, we get better at it. So what happens is we can actually, you know, every little disappointment, every little thing that comes up in life becomes charged for us because we get real good at it. You know, so it's how do we diffuse, still, you know, get that emotional release, still be able to express ourselves, but diffuse the situation, diffuse the anger, the frustration, the negative emotions around a situation or around somebody in a way that's more productive, that's going to help you release that, but also be able to move on. And also really seeing what the root is of that for you, because oftentimes it's not the event or the person, or it's what we make it mean. You know, all our own stuff comes up about, you know, different things that happened, experience, and this can be in the subconscious, we don't even really know it's happening. So think about, for you, if you're quick to anger or quick to get frustrated, kind of take a little, you know, self kind of survey, I guess, and say, you know, okay, why am I so hooked around this? And why am I getting so triggered? You know, and is venting it and sharing it with everybody and really gonna disperse it for me, or is it going to keep it alive? You know, does it keep that story alive and keep me still in that same, you know, biological place of stress and anxiety? So a lot to talk about around this subject. I think it's super interesting and important to talk about in this day and age because of so much social media, and you know, people are venting everywhere, right? So I think it's really important to protect your energy, right? To protect how much of the negativity do you want to come into your consciousness, right? Because it can be contagious, right? There's something called social contagion. So if all of this is going around and you only feed your mind with the negative stuff, then you are going to be in that space where you feel like you want to jump on that venting bandwagon, right? So think about that. Think about how you can maybe make the shift from so much information, so much negativity coming into your life, and find a way to diffuse it in a different way. Sometimes just reading a book, you know, shutting off the TV, taking a bath, you know, there's ways to just step out and say, all right, I'm going to keep myself clean, positive, not feed into the over kind of venting that's been going on. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I think it's super cool stuff, super great research, and I just hope that you have an awesome day. And there's Miss Shiloh taking a break. Bye for now.